Gretel and Hansel, get to the chopper! I saw Gretel and Hansel this weekend, and I have to say, I don't know what's going on this month. I understand January is like a movie lull, so to speak, especially when it comes to the genre of horror. Like, I don't understand it. I do know this. Gretel and Hansel was a failed attempt, in my opinion, of taking a fairy tale, a children's folk tale, and making it into a horror film. It failed. It wasn't scary. I didn't feel like there was any real new elements to it. You know what's sad? I don't know. I don't know. This month is like, characters from It. Like, the main character is Gretel, played by, and I can't think of her name right now, but she was in It, Part 1 and Part 2. And I think I feel like I've seen this before. And again, I feel like this movie is below her. Like, she's better than that. She's a great aspiring young actress that has so much going for her right now. So I would fire, if I were her agent, I'd fire my agent for putting me in a movie like that. Gretel and Hansel basically is the idea of the folk tale of Hansel and Gretel. I don't know why they switched the names, as if that was gonna like really do anything different. It definitely had a darker tone. The kids weren't lost in the woods. They were on their way to find a new place, to start a new life, because their mother pretty much went bat nuts. It was bad. They had to just leave her alone. They had to move on, right? But that's not how the story started. The story actually started when about this tale of a young girl that was given powers that it became really dark as she got older. And it became a curse on the family to the point that the girl was exiled. And as you see that story unfold, you kind of see how it connects eventually to the current situation of Hansel and Gretel. I'm going to say Hansel and Gretel because this background, Gretel and Hansel, I think it's silly. And, they come across the house in the middle of the woods, just like in the fairy tale, except the house is not made of gingerbread or anything like that. But there's a lot of good food inside, and they're starving, right? It follows the story. And then finally, they come across this sweet old woman in the house who ends up taking them in, to kind of help them. But little did they understand her real intentions. Now, I'm not going to give anything deep away. One, because that's just would be messed up. But two, I want you to see it for yourself. I'm not trying to dissuade you not to see it. Go see it. Talk to me. Let me know if you like it. You might like it. Maybe it just didn't settle with me. This was supposed to be a horror movie, and it failed. It's supposed to have these creepy moments, which I got. I understood. Oh, that's a creepy moment. Oh, that's a creepy view. That's an interesting shot, right? The camera work was definitely different. The movie, funny enough, was directed by Oz Perkins. Those of you who don't know, I'll tell you. He's the son of the great Anthony Perkins from Psycho. And Psycho 2. And Psycho 3. And Psycho 4. The only horror movie that really grabbed me this month was The Grudge, really. And I reviewed that. Aside from that, every other horror movie this month was horrible. And now as we go into February, there's going to be a whole new line of other films. I give Gretel and Hansel 1 coffee cup. Just one. Because it didn't work out. There was no real story to tell aside from the normal tale that was sprinkled. Now, granted, there were good shots. Like, Oz Perkins knew how to do these camera angles and shots that were unique. And if I was correct, as I was sitting in the theater and watching this film, it wasn't in a widescreen format. It was in a normal, like this format, which I haven't seen in a long time. So that was unique. Those were two things that were kind of interesting. The camera work and the screen. The screen was more squarish as opposed to the 16.9 frame that we've all gotten used to throughout the last couple of decades. And I remember the story of Hansel and Gretel. As a matter of fact, a few years back, there was another Hansel and Gretel movie that came out, but they were like superheroes. They were like fighting witches and killing them all, and it was like really out there. It wasn't. I don't even know what to say about that. Gretel and Hansel. Did you see it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Talk to me. Comment below and share with me what you think of my horror and coffee rating for Gretel and Hansel. Ralph Perez, Horror and Coffee. Bottoms up.